So if you're like me and you have your eyes always looking toward the future, you will know that AIs are the future of everything and will change everything that has ever happened ever by completely automating away every aspect of human interaction with everything. Except, it's not. What people like to forget is that though AIs are cool as heck, and they can do a lot of extremely cool things that humans are very bad at, they are also very bad at a lot of things that humans just so happen to be very good at. And one of these things is creative thinking and free association. Human evolution has benefited greatly from two traits. First trait is recognizing patterns, and the second is connecting disparate concepts to synthesize new solutions for problems that we encounter. And computers are just not good at that. There's a reason why it's taken us so long to develop techniques by which computers can do autonomous problem solving. And it turns out that the approach that is working for them, with which they have come up with a lot of very interesting technical solutions to things, is just brute force. Ironically, we understand the hardware of computers a lot better than we understand our own. And not only do we know that it's possible for them to think a lot faster than human brains do, but also we know how to run them faster. So basically, when you give a computer instructions to solve a problem, they will just throw slightly different solutions at it in order to gradually approach the solution that would be judged correct. And then the result of that tends to be a process that is very good at fixing one particular kind of problem, but rarely super adaptable into other contexts. And that is not how art works, or really all human creative pursuits. Of course, if you do art, you have to learn certain skills, you have to learn certain processes to apply to situations in order to fix the problems that emerge. But in relative terms, humans are much better at learning the solutions to these problems. We don't just do trial and error for a billion times to finish every individual project. We're very good at extrapolating from knowledge that we already have. If you're very good at building chairs and you want to build a table, there's a lot of skills that you got in the process of learning how to build chairs that you will be able to apply when you build the table. AIs can't really do this. They will either develop a completely novel approach to make a table, or they will just change the chair until it is a table. Human beings have imagination. We can consider the results and ramifications of our experiments before actually testing the results. That's a very useful skill to have. So while AI is certainly going to make sweeping changes to all sectors of the economy, one where it's going to be particularly difficult for it to get a foothold will be arts. By art, obviously, I mean not just like visual art, but also film and television and music and video games and cooking and books like my book, which you should buy. Now, a lot of people tend to flip their shit at this fact, but art requires a lot of craftsmanship. Just being creative isn't enough. You need to know how to do the brush strokes, how to develop the story structure, how to cook the food in this particular way to achieve these particular flavors. And thus, it does involve a lot of problem solving for which AI can be useful. But it's also an extremely ephemeral and improvisational process. An artist tries and fails to do something because it didn't live up to the expectations of what they had in mind when they started actually physically creating it. You see where the problem is here? AIs can't really come up with ideas out of the blue and then attach expectations to them and not have a clear picture in mind of what the end result will be. They have to be told what that is supposed to be. There's also, of course, a lot of randomness involved. Sometimes in the process of actually creating a piece of art, an artist might make a change or might make a mistake that they actually like more than what they had initially imagined. You don't know that this is the kind of change that you wanted to make to your idea until you have actually done it. But it's the element of predictability, of the self-setting of a goal that is constantly changing in your own mind, that AI is just never going to be good at. Most art created by AIs, which there is already some of, is created by applying randomness to a certain set of predetermined rules. Meaning that the overwhelming majority of what an AI produces in terms of art is just very bad. And it doesn't know this. Someone needs to go there and judge it as being good. And the other reason for why AI can't really make true art, aside from like the technical difficulties, which it might at some point be able to overcome to some extent with human input, is that art is bullshit. And I say this as an artist, right? Art is bullshit and everybody knows it. What even makes art art? It's certainly not the quality of the craftsmanship, because I rarely see like a really magnificently built bookshelf as art. Yet somehow, if some art school wanker pours paint over a block of concrete, he's considered some kind of savant. Art is this ephemeral nonsense idea that we attach to some things because we are told by context that that is art. If you place that same block of concrete outside of a museum, at like the side of the road, it would just be a block of concrete that some idiot spilled paint on. I mean, you have proper artists with excellent craftsmanship sitting in advertisement agencies creating high quality art. Yet somehow, even though some people might admire their craftsmanship, the fact that it is an ad, the knowledge that it is made to make you buy a product, somehow makes it no longer art. And this is in spite of the fact that creating advertisements and advertising concepts and advertising materials for something is very much a pure creative process. So unless the culture changes around art and we expand our definition of what is considered art, what can have the spark of creativity, no matter how good AI gets at producing art, it'll never be considered art. But hey, everybody knows that it's not the art galleries that actually employ most artists. And I do genuinely believe that AIs can be very useful and become very good at many aspects of the craftsmanship of art. Personally, I can't imagine an AI ever writing like an actual good novel or even a series of novels, because I would have no idea how to even teach it that kind of thing. But that might just be my lack of imagination. Art isn't just random shit until it sticks. There is always some level of trial and failure, some level of refinement, but without a vision, you don't have a creative project. An AI might become very good at replicating a certain art style if they are fed enough examples of it, even eventually to the degree where they can create their own works in that art style that are indistinguishable from what the artist that created that art style would have made. But it's never going to be able to develop a truly new and original art style unless it goes for the shotgun approach and a human, or probably even team of humans, tells it which of the one art style out of the billions it's created over the weekend is actually worth anything. Here's the thing though, still, much like AI is going to change the crap out of pretty much every field of everything, it will also change a lot about the art world. A lot of people who have spent long periods of time acquiring their skills will just no longer be needed, and artists that are still around will actually include AI in how they produce their work. I mean, Jesus, I use a technique developed by what is essentially an AI to create the thumbnails of my videos. Now, personally, I have to admit that I dread the vision of the world where someone has like an idea for a novel and then they jot down the major plot points, feed it a couple paragraphs of text for style, put in a couple character traits, and then feeds all of that stuff to an AI so that puts out the novel. And it does that in like under a minute, and that's like scary. And there's no reason why it shouldn't be the same with, say, animated film or something. Or like real film. At some point they're gonna be so good at animating that's going to be indistinguishable from reality. Who knows, maybe AI will never be able to overcome the problems and intricacies of the creative process, so most of that will still have to be done by humans. But it's gonna get used, and in the best case scenario, it's just going to increase the levels of craftsmanship available to every individual artist. This is already true to an extent. I mean, it's still like the game designers and the modelers, the programmers that like come up with the video game, but it's the game engine doing the ray tracing. And that is the main kind of thing that will just become drastically better over time. You'll probably have the kind of AI that checks for historical inaccuracies when you're making a show, maybe even plot holes, and then points them out to you. But unless we manage to merge with AI, it's never going to be able to do art in the same way we do. And that's okay, because there's a lot of very useful things that it can do that we can't do. Don't be scared by the alarmists. This is about synergy, not replacement. Or maybe I'm just an AI. And that's what I want you to think. Thank you very much for watching this video. Like, comment, subscribe, share this to your relevant communities, but do not spam them. Consider supporting me on Patreon or Subscribestar, buying some of the merchandise that I have on offer that's very good, very high quality, very and also the book that I have already shilled previously. And in that spirit, do some creative work. Come up with a solution for a problem that doesn't involve a billion trial runs of trial and error, and then you're already better at that thing than an AI. And see you around, cunts.